This is the Arabian Nights, translated by Sir Richard Burton, published in 2016 by the Sterling Publishing Company for Barnes & Noble, for their Barnes & Noble Leatherbound Classics collection. It's bound in this deep blue bonded leather, so it's not the highest quality of leather, but it will still hold up. And the front has this beautiful design stamped in with different colors of leather layered on top, as well as the gold foiling. I'm not going to discuss any aspects of this design. I'll just let you look at it and take it in. It's quite beautiful looking. There's also these red foil accents down here at the bottom. And in the little gaps throughout. The spine has a similar design. It uses that nice Arabic geometry, has these fake spine hubs, and that same gold foiling with the title, which is stylized, and the translator. There is a bit of scuffing, but that is from me and not the publisher itself. The back has an even more beautiful design than the front does. And the camera really doesn't do it justice. It looks much better in person without the glare. The page edges are gilded, and it's not a bad job at all. All of the little scuffs and marks are from me and not from the publisher. And we do have these deep blue headbands, which are almost purple. The spine is rounded quite nicely as well. And so are the pages. We have this ribbon marker right here in this gold foil. Although it's not a silk ribbon marker, it's just a normal cloth ribbon or whatever they're made of. And it's quite thin, but it'll get the job done. The end papers are this nice Arabic geometry, which fits very well with the book. And they're on this nice thick cardstock. There's the B title page. It's printed on a blue paper instead of a white paper. And the title page as well has that same beautiful stylization as the cover does. Actually, it's the same design as the front, just adapted to be printed on a piece of paper. And it has a bit more detail in it. Looks very nice. The contents page also looks nice. There are a lot of illustrations in this book, as you can see by the long lists. And then the title page of each tale has a nice stylization, and the title itself is in that same styled text. And I'm not too sure what that's called. It might say in the publishing information. It does not. And one thing to mention, this book was manufactured in India, and the Barnes & Noble Classics collection books that are manufactured in India are usually slightly better than those from China. Although there is one big issue I've had with this book. The page edges are rounded, and it was like this when I got them, which is a big shame because this would have been one of my favorite editions if it weren't for that issue. And a lot of the pages came stuck together in this book, so I had to separate them So as you can see in the top here, there was a lot of micro ripping going on. Here's one of those illustrations. But if I flip further throughout this book, as I flip further into the book, you'll see that some pages are still stuck together. And there are more rips. And there was no way to separate the pages without ripping them, unfortunately. I'm not sure what fully separated them, but I believe that it had something to do with the gilding, because it feels like the gilding came down onto the front of the pages a little bit. So that may have caused them to stick to the pages on the left. You can feel a definite ridge at the top here, which you don't feel on the bottom. And you also don't feel it on the left page, but you do feel it on the right. Another one of those nice illustrations. Here are two of those pages that are stuck together. So you can see I can't. There we go. I had to rip them a little to open them up. And that leaves quite a bit of marks at the top of the page. Here are more of those pages. So you can see that hair left a little mark on the pages. Well, never mind that. There's also a brown stain there that goes across multiple pages. That is not what I was talking about, though. There's also some on the bottom, although most of it's on the top. There we go. That's a good example of what it usually looks like after you rip the pages. So those little rips are all throughout the book, and that's why the top edge looks a little disheveled. Back into the book, though, it does lay open quite nicely. As you can see that most of the pages are stuck together, although a lot of them it's only a minor stick. Here's another one of those full page illustrations. And another one of those. And another one. And another one. There's one of the last ones. And that's all for this book. I definitely missed a few of the illustrations, but there are more throughout there. That one had quite a big rip down here. And the end papers at the back are the same as the front. So this book does look very nice, although this bonded leather will get burnished over time from rubbing on stuff. I think that's the correct word at least. And this book would have been great, but the biggest issue is of course that page ripping, which takes this down a lot of pegs for me. And for the cost, I personally would avoid this book. I'm not sure if other copies have that same page ripping issue, but this is the only Barnes & Noble Leatherbound classic that I've had that issue in. So I'm assuming that other copies also have that issue because it's done by an outsourced publisher, not Barnes & Noble themselves. So it's a great book, but it is a big shame that the page issue makes the book damaged the moment you try to read it. So that's all for this book. It would be quite nice, but has a very unfortunate issue. Thank you very much.